So last time you have seen me starting working on my new desk and literally taking the saw into my hands and starting to cut into the wood. But then I just realized, unfortunately the blade wasn't really working. And so I thought, okay, let's use the chance and really get a new saw, but based on a battery. So I got a new one, which is really amazing. And I just can go there and could do my cuts, how I did it on the plan. And this is what I did. Next, what I did, I checked my basement, what kind of wood finishes I have in here. And so I took some wood sample and checked it on there. However, very soon I realized that my planning has to go from my head to my computer. Like, because of my former life, I have a very good foundation of Cinema 4D. But also I designed a very early sketch of this desk in FreeCAD. But finally I ended up with TinkerCAD because in the end, it doesn't have to be that detailed, but I just want to have the proper measurements of all the parts, which is basically the idea of computer-aided design. Talking about some requirements, so the most obvious thing of my desk that I'm planning, and by the way, that's not the desk, this is just my temporary setup here. I want to have the recording mixers next to me, which means to the left and to the right. Then next to this, also I need, of course, some space for my loudspeakers that, of course, should be in the proper space. And then next, I, of course, want to, again, have a kind of MIDI keyboard tree, but this time I want to use my big MIDI keyboard that I have also in place, because it doesn't make sense for me to have two main MIDI keyboards anymore, which was a concept in my former studio, but hey, now I'm in the new studio, right? So let's just talk about new things. So we had this amazing idea of creating this nice desk and really have it immersively attached to the idea of the sound that is going to be created in that room. And we put all things away. We did not really think about use cases. We did not really think about to-dos. We were just thinking like, what is the future? What can we really do with this kind of crafted desk? So if you see the amazing finish of the wood combined with the aluminium rails and the nice desk, and here you really see a nice example of form follows functionality. Then at least I need 80 centimeters for my keyboard, my trackpad and the mouse, and of course some space available for further gear, maybe some groove boxes. But in the end I never took or have taken any 19-inch gear on my desk. This is, I think, where my design will be outstanding or differentiate itself from what you can buy on the market. When I was talking to some friends about my enterprise, they convinced me that I need a new height adjustable standing desk, and so this is what I'm also aiming for. So I just ordered one. It should arrive in a few days here, and I'm really interested in that because I never really used it even in my professional life, but I think it will be a nice addition, having in mind that the desk should go up and down, but as well with the loudspeakers, right? So let's see how this works out. So, but since I still have some 19-inch gear, like the patch base, I have in mind this concept of, I call it sidecar. And by sidecar, I mean a 19-inch desk rack, something next to my desk, but it should also be quite easy to be adjusted so that I can, for example, flip it and just change the wiring or the connections. I'm really focusing currently on the desk and not on this sidecar for the 19-inch, but I will need it urgently and as soon as possible, because in there will be all my patch base, so all the routing and all the cables should go there and from there to the desk. So this will be a key part from that one. So I'm not going to connect my old 19-inch rack build that I currently have, but rather building something new. Talking about the patch base, I did the planning already, or I started the planning already in an Excel, but I'm going, of course, to rewire everything because it's currently unwired, right? But that's why I also have a new patch base, so that I have like in some free, really to have the freedom of putting everything in place where it should be, like the ins in there, the outputs over there, putting all the synthesizers together in a line, and so on and so on. Yeah, and finally, as you see, I have some proper light in here. I mean, of course, it's not yet adjusted for the video, but I wanted to show you this, that here things are really work in progress. So I'm using these IKEA lights. It's called thread free. I can adjust the warmth of the light, and I can of course adjust the brightness. So this thread free system is kind of new to me, because in the past I was switching my lights with some Intertechno plugs you can buy here in the DIY stores in Germany. But now I wanted to have something more reliable, because these plugs, they don't have a back channel. They don't tell the system if it's switched or not. I'm of course going to extend this because I'm a nerd, right? So I want to have some home assistant in place where everything is being connected, or maybe running on a Raspberry Pi. I installed this already, but so far it does the job. So I can now turn on the lights here and change the situation from work situation to studio situation, which is changing the brightness and the warmth of the light, as well as turning on my PA already, which is basically two plugs, like my audio interface over here and my PA like desk, and the loudspeakers in the subwoofer over here. That's what I'm doing with the home automation in here so far, and I guess I will extend this very fast, very soon. Finally, talking about next steps, obviously I want to finish my studio desk. This is, I think, currently number one. Then as soon as possible start with the sidecar, because I want to put in there all my patch bays. And finally, you see, I mean, it's currently work in progress, but every evening I'm continue wiring something, like let's say one evening I want to be able to switch on that keyboard or that one. Currently thinking about what kind of cables do I have, where do I might put some shorter cables and so on. So on the one hand, my old studio I really planned a lot, and but on the other hand, over the time things have grown and changed, and so therefore it was a little bit wild. And so now this is another time again to optimize everything. Like, for example, not going with the longest or very long XLR cables I have, but rather putting in there some optimized shorter cables and so on. So plenty of things to do, but I hope you like my journey, and please subscribe and let me know what you think about my build. And if you have some tips and some ideas, just put them into the comments. I really would love to see them and read them and answer you. So talk to you. Bye.